Hey everyone, we're not in the workshop today. We are at the Game Developers Conference here in San Francisco. Normally it's not something we cover here at Make, but we're particularly looking at alt.ctrl.GDC. What alt.control is it's a showcase of games people have made for this exhibit, and they've created custom control interfaces, and they're using all the same sort of stuff that you would find in any regular Maker project. So you're seeing CNC cut enclosures, custom interfaces, stuff based off of Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and just creating really interesting, weird, sometimes insightful interfaces to these games, and you won't see anything like this anywhere else. I don't think any of these games will ever make it to store shelves, so this is really the only place you can see them, but there's a lot of really, really cool stuff here, really inspiring stuff. Let's go check some of it out.
We're good. Okay, that's good, that's good. Top, top. Run one. Red shield. Down, down, down. Red shield, red shield.
So hello, I'm Avi Romanov, and my partner is Giada Sun, and we are students at Carnegie Mellon University. We made a game called Too Many Captains and Not Enough Wire, which is a party game where one person, the engineer, has all of the controls, and everybody else is a captain and has all the information, and is trying to translate what they see on the screen into instructions, because the engineer can't turn around and see what's going on. So what makes our game unique, besides the communication structure, is we made a custom controller that uses audio plug cables as the primary interface. So the engineer is listening to the instructions and trying to wire up shields and weapons and thrusters to try to make the ship go. We built a custom console, so the controller actually has HDMI out going directly to the TV. So there's no separate computer involved. We built basically a case around an Intel NUC, which is sort of like a little mini computer. Also inside the box, we have a Raspberry Pi, which is running all of the hardware. So we joke that it's sort of like a data center inside that box. Totally over-engineered, but it hasn't crashed yet. We have a website, toomanycaptains.com, where we have a bunch of pictures and information about the game. We're really interested in getting the game to as many people as possible. This is our first time showing it. We're totally honored just to be here, and we actually were a finalist for the Alt Control Award, so we're super stoked about that. So we're trying to bring it to other conferences like PAX East, Indiecade, and we've been talking to some other small exhibitors who have little bespoke arcades that might be interested in the game. We're also potentially interested in kickstarting it, so if you are interested in the game and would love to buy it, then tell us what you'd be willing to pay for it, and we'll try to make something work.
So I'm Nuhal Kadi. I'm one of the narrative designers on Disco is Dead. And Disco is Dead is a buddy cop comedy horror game that plays with slappable zombie head controllers and also disco ball controllers. You're literally slapping zombies. So the way you do it is you slap down, left, and right on the face. It's kind of like DDR, so once an arrow comes up, you have to do it in the direction of the arrow. It's a makey-makey. It's basically all rigged up to like the inputs on the circuit. So it's basically simple, like, you know, WSAD keys, but we just put it like rigged it up to the controllers, which is made out of like a styrofoam head, wood and door stoppers to get like a satisfying feel to it. Well, we have a Twitter page. It's at Disco is Dead Game. Welcome to come and like share your experiences when you play the game, and also we have our itch.io page up there. Got a bunch of like footage and stuff too. It's great seeing a lot of people enjoying the game there.
Hi, so my name is Henry Lamb. I'm here with Henry, H-N-R-Y. I did not name our group after myself. We're here with Clunker Junker, that what we brought here to Alt Control for GDC. Clunker Junker comes from sort of a lot of the themes that we've had in the past. So we were here 2 years ago with Crank Tank. Last year we were here with Beer Sphere. Crank Tank had two large like cranks to maneuver these tanks. Beer Sphere had a flashlight mechanism. So this year we kind of have a game that kind of is brought from the themes of all those, right? So when we were working on Crank Tank, when we had it here, you know, whenever you give players a chance to kind of go nuts on controllers, they really work it. And things would literally fall apart, pieces coming off here and there, and we're fixing it as they're playing it, and that really gave us the kind of inspiration for this piece. Because, you know, our game Clunker Junker is kind of about flying a spaceship that's fallen apart, and you're trying to fix it while you're trying to fly at the same time. So it kind of has, these large, oversized, essentially oversized wind-up flashlights, right? So this whole mechanism is kind of what drives the interface for the whole ship, right? This thing it feels like a solid tool. There's just weight to it. And that comes from the dynamo that's on this end that actually is producing DC power. We have that wired to a rectifier bridge, pushing power to a DC to DC converter here. So on the front end here, we actually have a small LED that's from the PCB of the DC converter. So essentially we have a very large winding flashlight, right? Wind crank flashlight. So this is driving the input for all the other sort of sensors that are on our game piece, our controllers here, photoresistors, kind of standard kind of light levels, picking those up to kind of get those readings. In terms of the fabrication of all this, we've got CNC'd Baltic birch, we got 3D printed parts, we've got some vacuum formed parts in the back as well, and of course obviously just handcrafting as well, just working our hand tools and other things like that. Our most recent game, Clunker Junker, is not on our website yet because basically this got finished Monday night, Tuesday afternoon, basically just before the judging of Control.GDC. You can go to We Are Henry. That will have information about us as individuals and also the two other pieces that we've also made in the past, both Fierce Sphere and Crank Tank.
We've also got a lot to cover, so let's move on to the next game. Wait a second, looks like I just got an email.
Yeah, so I'm Simon Manning. I'm actually the fabricator on the team, so I was kind of responsible for all the physical aspect of this. And essentially Puppet Pandemonium is a live performance art alternative controller game. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to give people a chance to perform but also be an audience member in this sort of interactive arcade multiplayer and kind of experience. So this portion is the sort of performance art, and then they're just about to begin some of the simple kind of mini games that we made to showcase the Button Helmet 9000 that they're wearing. And the nice thing about all of this is really simple, easy to play, kind of fun games, but it's also audience participation and cooperation. So in this one, if the players were to get knocked out or crash, the audience votes them back into the game. So there's always this sort of give and take with the audience and the puppets, as there is with any kind of live performance, that kind of interaction. So that was essentially the concept behind why we wanted to create this game and make something that would give people a chance to get up on stage at a conference as large as GDC.
Okay, so my name is Erik Osana, and I'm actually a student at Uppsala University, Campus Gotland in Sweden. And this Pump the Frog is like our first year student project, so you need to have like this sick, crazy input. And then we thought yeah, maybe we could test it with a pump. We had like a lot of different ideas. First was the pump, then was like what do you call it that you're digging with, the digging machine, but we ended up with a pump. And then after that we just designed the whole game around it. I just wanted to make it feel as good as possible. Okay, so in Pump the Frog you more or less only have like two inputs. You can become big, small, and then you can like rotate and like interact with the environments around. Like some objects that are often described as like animals can be, can be like interacted by using the pump as well as the frog. And by doing that, you have a lot of squishy physics as well. So you can, for example, like climb and like get really squished in and like pop up and stuff just to give it that extra feedback. How it's made, it's actually just a pump, some duct tape, and then like a laser mouse with a high DPS so we can actually censor it and get in the inputs by like drawing up the chief. Then you're like getting like the Y coordinates, and then by rotating you actually get the X coordinates.
So hi, I'm Robin Baumgarten, and I make experimental hardware games. And today I brought Wobble Garden to alt.ctrl.GDC. So Wobble Garden is like a weird arrangement of springs, 36 springs on a table, and I intended it to be a platform for different weird little experiences. And the springs are all capacitive touch sensitive, and they have a vibration sensor inside as well. And they're surrounded by LED rings, so they kind of light up to whatever I tell them to. My previous project is called Line Wobbler, which is a one-dimensional dungeon crawler and uses like a spring as a joystick and a 5-meter-long LED strip as a display. And I really liked this interaction and people responded really well to it, so I decided to do more with it. So I'm now still working with springs and still working with LEDs, but kind of going into the second dimension basically and experimenting with this platform with Wobble Garden. People kind of interact with the springs by touching and by wobbling, so it's capacitive touch and a vibration sensor inside. And I'm building different experiences that are based on sound, on visual feedback, or like little games. Right, so the website for Wobble Garden is wobble.garden, and the more general project website is called wobblylabs.com.
So I've had a really good time checking out this stuff at alt.ctrl.GDC. I hope you have too. It's a little different from what we normally talk about here on the Make Magazine channel, but I love this stuff so much, and it's super interesting to see what kind of interactions you can make between hardware and software to create really interesting, unique experiences. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did, and be sure to hit subscribe so you won't miss the next video from Make Magazine.